Hey, y'all. In this episode, we're going to talk about the top three reasons why people are denied their adjustment of status application. Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host, John Ting, and let's get into the details now. Now, number one, okay, number one is misrepresentation. Okay, this is one of the grounds of inadmissibility, one of several. Okay, the common one, of course, is crimes, and there's certain crimes that can prevent you from obtaining resident status. But the most common reason that people don't think about is, or one of the most common, is misrepresentation. So this can include, well, let me share a story. Okay, we've had someone come to our office, or at least back in the day when we had in-person consultations. Someone came in, schedule appointment. They came in and they said, "Look, USCIS seems to know that my previous long ago applied for a visitor visa, so the DS-160 form, and they said that they hired someone to file that application for them." And I thought, why would seems straightforward to me, but maybe some people need help, right? I completely understand, but I thought, well, that someone check mark that they were married when, or actually, yeah, they check marked they were married when in fact they were not. That person was not married at the time of when they filed that DS-160 for the visitor visa or tourist visa B1 B2. So that's a huge problem, right? Fortunately, we were able to tell a story accurately and tell the government, USCIS, why she should still be able to overcome it without even filing the waiver. So we were very fortunate in that situation. But again, how was she able to solve that problem? She gave us a call. She made the decision to give us a call and then hire us. Of course, we help explain what the misrepresentation waiver requires, and of course, that we would try to do it to get the positive resolution, before we even have to file a waiver. So it worked out for her. Um, but that's one of the reasons, and I have plenty of stories. But another quick story is a client decided not to hire us for us to be one of our attorneys to be at the adjustment interview for the 485. Okay. This is where it is important to have a lawyer in person for you, even if it appears straightforward. Sometimes, especially during the Trump years, and it can still continue under President Biden administration, some officers will and may be very, what do you call, a little aggressive, invasive with the personal questions. In fact, sometimes we call it, if it was in court, this would be called like object. We would object and say that's repetitive. So that's what I would do. One of our legal attorneys would be, that's what they would do in person when an officer asks the same question over and over again, even though our client or the applicant already answered the question. So we had a client who decided not to hire us to be there in person, and the officer had asked, "Hey, you entered the country before. Did you use a different name? Did you use a different date of birth?" And the client said no. She told me after the fact, after the interview, that she did not. And we applied for a waiver for it. And we submitted a FOIA request, see what the government had on her, but the names were very similar and the date of birth was kind of similar. So the fact that the government had it, that's in that kind of situation, is more likely to be true. So here's what you can do. Before you go to your interview and you just have an idea that there could be something off about your previous applications, you really need to consult with an experienced immigration attorney before you go to the interview. Okay, and just be truthful with that attorney, whoever you speak with, because I can imagine if I just have a couple clients here and there that have a situation like this, I could imagine there's many of you who have this situation. Okay. Number two, here's a second reason. Okay, I wrote a couple down here. Lack of proper evidence. Again, this is another reason why you should hire a lawyer, because a lot of people think, let's just take the situation of adjustment applicant based on marriage to a U.S. citizen. Some people, when they call our office, after our legal team, including myself, tell people you need to have marriage evidence, people like, oh, the marriage certificate, yeah, no big deal. Of course we have that. Of course, yes, that is very important. Obviously, you need to establish the relationship, but there's a lot more to it than that. We call it bona fide marriage documents. Some people can call it something else, but basically, you need to show the government that you're the real deal, that you are legitimately married to your spouse. Yes, legally you can be married together, but that doesn't mean you're genuine. You have a genuine bona fide relationship. We have several clients that don't live together, but just because you don't live together doesn't mean you're not in a bona fide relationship. You need to show other evidence. We think outside the box. That's what our legal team does. So there's so many examples that we can provide. But what you need to do, if you're new to our channel, by the way, subscribe down below. Appreciate it. Hit smash the like button, by the way, if you like the content. But this is what you can do. Okay, I'm going to show you this not so secret code that you can provide right down here. Green card guys. All right, you want to provide that code so you can access the free 15-minute preliminary discussion. All right, please do that. And then the other thing is you can call this number up here, 346-330-5888. The best thing to do is call, but I understand if you're busy at work or something, you can shoot us a text on regular text or on WhatsApp. Okay, we do answer calls on WhatsApp as well, same number. All right, so again, that was the second thing, lack of proper evidence, and of course preparation, but that's really another reason. But proper evidence, because some people think, and some people actually, unfortunately, we do have a client where they uh, they didn't know they had to provide the medical exam before the adjustment interview. You don't have to provide it at the time of filing your 485 application, but they didn't show up to the interview because they thought that. Here's a big pro tip right here, a very important pro tip. If you call the 800 hotline for USCIS and a USCIS employee, sorry, I put quotations because I don't mean officer, but an employee says, "Yeah, sure, we'll take your information down." No, that's not true. You cannot call in to reschedule your interview. Okay, so this is what happened for this client. They didn't show up to interview because they thought that them calling in that that was enough to say let to notify the USCIS we'll like to reschedule. But no, you have to file, write it down on paper, type it up, send it to the appropriate office at the local field office nearest to you for where your interview will be, and let them know if you do need to reschedule. Here's a reason why we need more time to provide the medical exam. But honestly, if you really want my advice on this, show up to interview anyway, because this is what they'll do. They're going to go through all the typical questions of your applications, and then go through your evidence as well, and then say, "Oh, where's your medical exam?" You can tell them, "We just got the exam done, but it's going to take 1 or 2 weeks for the exam to be returned to us, for me to be allowed to pick it up." So at least you get the interview portion complete, and then you can go for provide the evidence medical exam later on. Okay, so that's tip number two. Tip number three, real quick, is no preparation. This is where you need to have an attorney and to prepare you for the interview itself, because again, it does appear straightforward, but we have a lot that we go through. We have a series of videos that we prepare our clients on how to really conduct themselves in interview, and also how to prepare for the all the different questions, and really the the out of nowhere type of questions, just in case. All right, that they likely won't ask you, but they really could. You just never know what type of officer you might get. All right, on that day. So those are really the top three tips why people are denied, and we have so much more to share with you. But for now, okay, please, if you have any questions, need a little guidance. Of course, if you are asking us for the step by step, you do need to hire us. That does take more time, but just point your right direction. Give us a call right here and provide us not so secret code. Okay, friends. Thank you so much, and y'all have a great day.